Hello everyone, I'm Chola Chhetri and I'll be presenting our work on user-centric privacy controls for smart homes. Smart home devices are devices that are used inside homes for automation and other purposes, such as Amazon Echo Show, smart hubs, smart blinds, smart lights, smart televisions, smart speakers, smart locks, smart thermostats, and smart freezes. Past research shows that there have been privacy concerns raised by smart home device users, but there haven't been enough research to address those privacy concerns. We need to devise privacy controls to address those privacy concerns. So in this work, we conduct empirical studies to understand what privacy controls are wanted by smart home device users. So the main research question for our study is, what privacy controls do smart home device users want in smart home devices? To address this research question, we followed an interview methodology. In the interview, the main question we were seeking to answer was, what privacy controls do smart home device users use or would like to use? We recruited the participants for the interview through Twitter and university listserv. We conducted the interview online through WebEx and an online collaborative platform called Miro. The average interview time was 60 minutes. The interviews were recorded and transcribed. We reached a saturation of codes in the thematic analysis of the interviews at interview number 25, but we continued interviewing up to 25 and then stopped the interviews. We performed descriptive statistics for the participant demographics and thematic analysis for the desired privacy controls by the smart home device users. For thematic analysis, we used the Brown and Clark model. The qualitative thematic analysis of the interview transcripts for the desired privacy controls resulted in 7 factors, 32 sub-factors, and 215 codes. The 7 design factors were data-related controls, transparency controls, centralized interface, device controls, multi-user controls, user support, and security controls, the largest category being data-related controls. Data-related controls included the privacy controls about data collection, transmission, processing, and storage. Anything that the participants wanted, such as monitoring of data or seeing what is happening to the data, were included in data-related controls. The second category included transparency-related controls, where participants looked for information and openness in straightforward terms and conditions, such as policy and disclaimers and indicators. The third category was centralized interface, the centralized interface for the privacy controls, where smart home users could control from a central location, for example, turning all devices on or off at once. The fourth category was device controls, which were about controlling the operation of the device or its capabilities, such as powering a device on or off. Multi-user control, the fifth category, was about allowing multiple users to manage their preferences and their data. The sixth category was user support, which was about tips and tricks and awareness and training for the users, so the users know how to use the features when available. And the last category was security controls, which were about device security, such as preventing unauthorized access to the device. Examples such as fingerprint authentication and passwords were brought up by the users in this category. For the sake of time and brevity, I would refer you to the paper for the 32 sub-factors which were included in these 7 categories and the 215 codes. In our research work, in order to validate and complement the findings of the interview, we designed a survey which was informed by the findings of the interview and analyzed what sub-factors were desired by the participants of the survey. The survey was designed based on the interview findings, the sub-factors. For example, the sub-factor of choice, which was part of the data-related design factor, was framed as From the following, select the level of agreement with the options you want in smart home devices to choose what is collected, used, and shared. In order to ensure that the meaning of the sub-factor was captured in the survey questions, we went through multiple design iterations and pilot tested the survey questions in our lab. We also deployed the survey in 2 phases. First, in a small quantity, n equals 50, and on a larger quantity in the second phase. We collected a total of 440 responses, which were included in the data set. The survey also had some exclusion criteria, and we also screened out participants in order to ensure that we had quality responses. The survey was designed using Qualtrics, and it was deployed using Amazon Mechanical Turk, which is a crowdsourcing platform often used in security and privacy research conducted involving user studies. The finding of the survey showed that the sub-factors that we found in the interviews were also the sub-factors related to the privacy controls that were desired by the users. To pick a few that stood out, choice, content, limit, monitor, and user-friendly interface stood out as the ones that were highly desired by the participants, although all of the sub-factors were very much desired by all the survey participants. The survey also allowed us to look into the internal consistency of the categories that we found in the interviews. And also we were able to look at the top sub-factors that were desired by the participants through the numerical analysis. Looking into the internal consistency, we used Cronbach's alpha to find how strongly related the items were within a category. Cronbach's alpha, for example, for data-related controls was 0.89. For the others, most of the Cronbach's alpha values were in the 0.8 range. The lowest Cronbach's alpha value was 0.68. The Cronbach's alpha values represent a good internal consistency within our categories, re-emphasizing that our categories in the interview were strong enough. The average and the median scores for the sub-factors, which were most of them either 4 or above, also show that all of the sub-factors were desired by the survey participants, but the mean values also allowed us to look into which were the top factors desired by the survey participants. Here I present the top 6 privacy controls desired by the participants: the easy-to-use interface, access detection, indicators, monitor activity, consent, and independent review were the top 6 privacy control sub-factors. Those were desired by our survey participants. Based on the findings of the interview, in our paper, we also present a privacy control framework, which is aimed at guiding the designers about which of the sub-factors are implementable on a user interface for the users, and where we think those sub-factors could be implemented. Thus, our work presents 2 contributions. We decipher the privacy controls desired by the users of smart home devices, and then we present a privacy control framework to help developers implement the user-centric privacy controls. Thank you for your time.